This session is called Tell Me About Yourself, the Art of Public Speaking. How terrified are you all right now? A little scared? Not at all? Liar! Liar! The fear of public speaking is somewhere around 85% in this country as the #1 fear of an individual person. Death is 70%.
Way more afraid of that.
Do you understand that people are more afraid of getting up in front of a crowd and making a fool out of themselves than they are of dying in a fiery crash? Smoking hole in the ground, podium. It blows my mind, but it only does so for one reason. You have watched me, even just now, engage in some humor, a little self-deprecation. You're laughing. You're already starting to relax a little bit. This is not an accident, all right? I know what I'm doing up here. This is a set of skills that I've invested probably about 25,000 hours of my life into. I started when I was very young. I started, my family didn't have a lot of money when I was younger, okay? So when I wanted a bicycle, I had to go pick. Do any of you guys ever pick berries before? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I picked berries in the fields when I was a kid to get money for a bicycle. We grew up on a farm out in Silverton, Oregon, and I still can't eat blueberries to this day. They're frozen. So there I am, 8-year-old kid, and I'm picking blueberries. And my dad says, you know, Terry, you're turning these blueberries for 25 cents a pound. I got an idea for you. And I said, what's that? And he said, why don't we learn a little bit about being an entrepreneur today? And I said, what are you talking about? He says, why don't you buy the berries instead at 50 cents per pound instead of selling them for 25 cents back to the person who's got the fields? We'll take them around and see what happens. How much can you sell them for door to door? So there I am, 8 years old, dad with the van and flats of blueberries that I had picked myself that morning. And he taught me at the age of 8 how to walk up to somebody's door. He's watching me like a hawk. I'm sure he had a gun on. My father was kind of scary, right? You know, my parents met in the military. They were spies. Yeah. You know, I was safe, y'all. So there's my dad sitting back beaming smile on his face as a little girl is learning how to walk up to a door, introduce herself, and say, I picked some fresh berries today. These are great for pies, and I'm earning money for a bicycle right now. Would you like to buy some at $2 a pint? Yes. 800% return on my investment. I love being a businesswoman. That's where I started. That's the first lesson. The next lessons came bit by bit as I learned more about being an entrepreneur and a speaker. And then at the age of 13 and a half, I got into high school and started public speech and debate. Okay? Speech and debate is something that I did again and again and again. It consumed my life for years. I am a national champion at extemporaneous speaking and at parliamentary debate. I'm only a bronze winner at I'm a bronze winner at extemporaneous speaking and a national champion at Lincoln Douglas and parliamentary debate. This means that I can open my mouth and I have faith that whatever's going to start coming out of it is going to sound confident, relaxed, easygoing, and that at any moment I can disengage my brain, step over to the side, think about the thing that I'm going to think next, plug it back in right here, and keep going smoothly. Okay? You saw me this morning hesitate a little bit, a few times. It was because I didn't have any caffeine in me, not because I didn't know what to say. I'm tired. Right now you're watching me work you as a crowd. You're watching me do my thing. This is my thing. It's performance. Okay? I was not born knowing how to do this thing. Have you guys ever read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell? How many of you guys, do you know what I'm talking about? The book that he's written about how people who are successful did not get that way by accident. There's no such thing as an overnight success. The average amount of time it takes for someone to become globally capable at doing something is 10,000 hours of effort. The fact that I am standing up here right now and that every one of you sees and understands that I am communicating with each one of you, one by one, is nothing more than a skill that I learned, and I have forgotten almost that I do it. The whole idea in acquiring skills, and a set of them, is to be able to forget that you're doing them. All right? I rode horses a lot too when I was younger, and if you've ever ridden a horse, you know you need to Keep your heels down. You need to sit up straight. You need to have your arm at a proper angle. You need to have your head tilted properly. You need to be able to look from side to side. Feel what the horse is doing. Communicate with the people around you. Ensure that you're not getting too far in front of the person behind you or too close to the person in front of you. The more of these things that you automate in your lizard brain, the more of these things you can start to become better at. You start forgetting more and more about what you're doing, and after a while, what you're doing is playing the violin or speaking in public or writing an operating system, and it just seemed like the next logical step, okay? Are you scared? Really still scared? It's okay, I get it. Public speaking is terrifying for people. It was scary for me for the first time. That's why I did it, because it pissed me off that I was scared. All right? So one of the reasons we're doing this too is you as contractors, and we do have a bias towards contracts, and the reason for that, of course, is that we have to continue to interview again and again and again. We wouldn't be able to do this kind of a seminar if we were full-time employees for 15 years at a time. We only have to do one interview. So we talk about being contractors and having to interview again and again. But just like Mike said, it's just a set of skills that you pick up after a period of time. So one of the things that I want you to do is get used to the notion that you are going to have to present yourself to other people. We have started from the ground up on how to be comfortable with yourself, how to forget about your personal appearance so that you can focus on the things that are important. I saw a lot of you folks in mock interviews yesterday, not just mine, other ones as well, where there was something about your appearance that you had to fiddle with or handle or hold your skirt down or ensure that you're holding your arms to your side real tight or am I doing this right? And is my shirt buttoned together? Damn, that shirt button thing right there, and kind of scooch it together. All of these things, you're not forgetting them. And they're taking away from your performance. Teachers, coders, people that walk dogs a lot, sup Eric? All right. These are sets of skills that you have learned, that you are practiced at, and that you're totally comfortable and confident with. This just happens to be mine. All right. So one of the things that we're going to do now is you guys all got your bios, right? Remember, you got your email saying you need to prepare your 60-second bio and have it ready to go. Is this correct? Everybody who is not prepared for this exercise, please raise your hands. Okay? First of all, fired. Second of all, I'll hit you last. Please write up a biography of yourself. It's going to take you less than 60 seconds to say out loud. A good rule of thumb is that you should take no less than 1 minute to say approximately 50 words. Take less than a second per word, or more than a second per word that you're going to say. That's a very good rule of thumb. Take the 50 words that you have written down and get ready to read them slow enough to make it a minute. Can you be a good audience? Somebody who's deliberately encouraging and expecting the best from the people that you're looking at? This makes people less nervous, and it does help a great deal, okay? And also, I want to remind you of something, too. This is one of those times when I know that what I'm talking about is something where there's a gap in our skill set. So tell me if I sound like I'm condescending or if there's something that I'm not explaining well enough. And the reason for that is this is probably one of the most sensitive things we're going to be doing during this entire seminar in terms of how much you are going to be in front of people and needing to get a reaction from them. So please let me know if you want me to do something different here, and I'm totally fine with that, all right? But getting this experience of speaking in front of people is one of the most valuable things you're going to get here, because you can learn that at least you're going to end up in 60 seconds back in your seat and able to take a deep breath, right? So you're getting some applause. Does it feel good to get some applause? Yeah. Does it? Something that I really appreciated about what you were doing was that you looked from side to side and started meeting people on other sides of the room. That helps to draw people into the conversation that you're having with them, okay? And as a result, I was watching you and you seemed really comfortable being able to look from side to side and meet people's eyes, which is, it's got to be 40–50% of public speaking, is making people feel like you're speaking right to them. So that is an awesome job. One of the things that I really appreciated about what Alessandra just did is her gestures, the hand gestures that she was making, were meaningful. When she said things like, I enjoy building things, she made gestures that indicated building something, okay? Just like you would see somebody and if you say, that rocks, not quite as powerful as, right? It says the exact same thing. Okay? You have said the exact same thing, only without words. Adding words and gestures together is one of the most powerful ways that you can communicate, because people sense it, they see it, and they hear it. And it means that people who are visual or audible oral learners will both learn and comprehend what you're saying. So that was a wonderful way of using the gestures comfortably together to emphasize what you were saying, and not just kind of waving your hands around a little bit. You meant something. Everything that you did with your hands indicated to people or built something. Okay, nice job on that one. It meant architect to me when I saw you do it. One of the things that I really loved about what Elaine just did was her energy is very different from mine, but she seems very enthused about what she's talking about. I believe the things that she's saying because she believes the things that she's saying. When she says she's passionate about something, I hear it and I believe it, because it's almost like it's crawling up from inside her and spilling forth, sort of in a weird sort of analogy, out to the audience, and you believe sort of this fountain of passion thing happening, because I'm watching your face. It's very mobile. You're using your eyebrows, your face, your smiles. Every part of your expression is behind the passion that you're showing. This is something you can forget when it's good to be able to forget that. It's good to have that expressive face, because you know that your face is going to back up the things that you're saying, all right? And Elaine is really talented, it seems like, at having that kind of passion backed up by her facial expressions. So one of the things you can tell really quickly is that Portia seems a lot more comfortable in front of an audience. And where does that come from, Portia? Your teacher, right? Yeah. So you spent a lot of time
Canada.
In this exact situation.
We do a lot of theater in Canada. The socialist program.
Absolutely. So
website development and mobile apps.
Absolutely. So you can tell really quickly that Portia spent time on this skill set, right? You can see that she's comfortable and she's already talking to everybody here. Her energy is very up. And again, it's a different energy than mine, but I see that she's somebody who can engage an audience and pull them kind of in towards her. Did you feel what I'm talking about when I say she's pulling people into the conversation she's having with you? So I tend to be very different in that I tend to project outward, and you can almost feel my presence hitting outward towards you. She's bringing people in towards her, which is an equally valuable and maybe less learnable skill. You're more talented in a lot of ways, in that you can bring people in towards you and have them join in your conversation with you. So that is a great skill, well, a great talent too, to have. Thank you, Bill. I want you guys to note very carefully 3 things that Bill did right. First of all, and this is going to be a backhanded compliment, he's a college professor, so he says too much, just like me, okay? It's a backhanded compliment, because what he's used to doing, and can you hear some of the same things in our voices and our sense of humor that's happening, right? This is somebody who has practiced standing up in front of an audience and trying to hold their attention, which, believe me, I too have taught the 101. Yes, where's my coffee? God, snoozing. Yes, how do you keep their attention? So Bill is very experienced at, I like to sort of call it, if you've only got one string on the fiddle, play it for all you're worth. And for me, it's self-deprecating humor sometimes. So you heard a little bit of that too in Bill's voice. It's a great thing to develop when you have to project a lot of information fast. And that's exactly what he did. I know everything I need. I know way more than enough about you. So that thing right there. Next thing he did. Do you remember how when he got done speaking, he kind of nodded his head down a little bit, set it down. You knew he was done talking. You knew to clap before I started clapping, right? Have you seen me indicate that you need to start clapping? You never see it, but you always do it exactly when I want you to, right? I could make you clap right now if I wanted to. I'm going to, because now I've told you the trick. But you'll do it and you won't think about it, because I'm projecting to you as an audience that that's what I want you to do. He's learned the trick, okay? That is a wonderful thing to figure out, how to create a clear ending for the end of your speech, and just stop. See? If you were waiting or you knew this was the end of the session, you would have started clapping really quickly right there. And you wouldn't have known why, but it would have seemed like the thing to do at the time, like at the opera, right? So, and the final thing that Bill did, I touched on it a little bit, but the self-deprecating humor, the ability to know that something you're about to say can be said in such a fashion as to sound humorous, whether it is or not. No, your jokes totally were funny, I swear. But the way that you say it matters. The humor comes across in your expectation that people will laugh more than anything else. Most of the stuff that I said isn't funny. And honestly, I've got many gifts, but quick wit, in front of a crowd isn't necessarily one of them. It's just that I say things and I expect you to laugh, and then you do. He's got the trick down. And that's somebody who's used to holding the attention of an audience by trying to wake them up a lot. So those three things, again, that sounded bad. But those three things, knowing how to end your speech, knowing how to, if you've got one string to play, play it, use self-deprecating humor and the expectation that people want to laugh with you to make them happy to be listening to you. And you can relay information comfortably and rapidly with learning to do it over a period of time. He's got no fear. You have no fear of standing here, right?
No.
Exactly, no fear. Okay? So those were three things that you can learn to do that he just did. All right? Nothing about that was natural. You didn't know that when you were 5.
By the way,
you learned.
I'll give you one other thing that I've kind of
Sure.
learned hint-wise. What has really helped me, a couple things, but one of them that would be apropos regardless of the situation, is to make sure that when you're talking to people, you're inclusive.
Yes.
So for example, with students, I talk about what we as developers need to do. I want them to feel to be in, and I'm part of what they are doing, because then they understand and they can relax that I'm with them and I'm trying to help them.
You're a colleague.
Yes, exactly.
You're part of the group.
Right.
Exactly. All right. There is a vibe that V has that's awesome, right? You're watching her up here, and I'm envisioning, like, hipster boys and these new bands that all the goddamn kids are listening to these days. You're kilted back a little bit. You have this comfortable vibe about what you're saying that makes me almost like take yoga breaths staring at you. Like, it is easy to listen to what you have to say. And I also heard you, I don't know if you were doing this deliberately, but I can hear some of the adrenaline in your voice, and as you got people to laugh, you're telling jokes that are very much in the common human experience, right? You're telling jokes that are making people bust out and laugh along with you, and I heard the adrenaline subside in your voice as you got the jokes to happen. So I think you're really comfortable making people laugh and having that kind of chill vibe, laid back. I mean, any minute now you're gonna tell me to hang 10. So you're just easy to watch up here. And again, that's sort of a natural thing that you can really play on. So does this make sense? I can hear some of the adrenaline, but I hear you making people laugh, and you enjoy it. And you can tell that you enjoy it. So it makes your voice sound comfortable and happy. My favorite thing so far about Ashley is she's got a dry wit, and it's instantaneous, and that is priceless. So the dry, funny, instantaneous, priceless wit, that's amazing to have. So, and also I see kind of it's a sly sense of humor, and people prize that in groups, right? Somebody who can be funny differently. You hear me, again, harping on the humor thing again and again and again. It's because it's the best thing you can possibly have to keep you sane and happy after a long, long day of coding. If Liz and Lorraine and I weren't all kind of funny in our own different ways and able to project that at each other, we'd probably have shot each other by now. So your sly sense of humor and the way that you can tease me, but it doesn't make me feel bad, if that makes any sense, that's wonderful. Something awesome that Amy just did was she told us, she mentioned a fun, awesome new thing that makes her sound awesome. I didn't know you were interested in Raspberry Pi. That's a great project to bring low-cost computing essentially globally, all right? It's an open source project that has wonderful potential, and so now I think you're cooler than I did 5 minutes ago. All right, this is a good thing. It's a very good thing. If you have a nifty, neat, awesome thing about your personality and you feel passionate about it, Amy just brought it up, and now I think she's cooler. 2 more cool points. The Super Mario points have dropped in the ground. Awesome. So that sense that I now have from her that there's another additional thing that I can talk with her about that I actually kind of want to talk to you about now, seriously, that's a great thing. You've made me think you're cooler, we've got a topic now. You've carried the conversation forward outside of just your bio and a flat statement to something we can engage together in. So, nice job. Lisa has just channeled for us the all-American corn-fed Iowa girl that is now my new best friend. Okay? Awesome, and I want to know her and I want to hang out with her and probably have beers. So she has the politician's vibe, which is a compliment, and the compliment is this. I had to stop you before you laughed because it's not a funny thing. I'm serious on this one. The people in this country, it's more of a sad thing than anything else, tend to elect the person that they most want to have a beer with. Okay? Who's the person who most understands my problems, that I can sit down and talk to? The person that I feel I most relate to. Lisa just won the politician contest here. She is the person that I most want to sit down and have a beer with, because I feel like we're never going to run out of things to talk about, and she's extremely genuine. All right, everything she said is shown forth. She looks like she couldn't keep something back from you if she wanted to. Okay, and that vibe, it promotes excellent reputation. It makes me believe that I can trust you. I would give you my car keys right now. So, absolutely. This is the vibe that she's got, and she can work. And so in a lot of ways, you've heard me not so much criticize you right now, because we're all nervous about public speaking in some way or another. And I'll even share a way that I'm still nervous about it at the end of this here. So what you need to know is what you can build on, right? You don't need to know everything you're doing wrong. You're already worried about the stuff you're doing wrong. You need to know what the awesome thing is that you just did, so that you can build on it, and you've got something you can now be confident about, because that's going to fix 80% of what's going on, right? You've got a piece of you that you can take and go, I know, I got applause for this, I'm good at it, now I can build on it, and that can be the thing that I do to start with. Now I'm better. It takes a special brand and breed of self-awareness to be able to tell a real and true life story with enough understanding of the choices that you've made to come out of it with me not feeling sorry for you, but instead experiencing both sympathy and respect, which is what just happened here. And that is all and entirely due to your own attitude. You have no self-pity. None whatsoever. I would not buy it if somebody told me that you did at this point, which means that in a situation where I think there's going to be some difficult issues to resolve, maybe some social or personal or professional issues, and I need to call somebody and maybe a third party for advice, I'm probably going to be calling you. So you seem like you see things clearly and you can express them clearly without unnecessary drama, though with enough fortitude to make it impactful. So that is a learned skill, and it is a priceless one, because it means you're self-aware enough to be somebody that I can work with. You'll be honest with me. You'll tell me you'll tell me what's up, right? Exactly. And that honesty, that belief in her honesty, is something that makes me want to bring her into a difficult situation and see if she can handle it. I'll throw some difficult stuff at you and see what happens, because now I think you can handle it. I believe you. Meta is somebody who is going to hold back a little bit, maybe take in everything that's happening and respond to it. Thoughtfulness is a trait to be valued and prized in every way, shape, and form. We've been emphasizing how much we need you to work in groups and talk to each other and network, and we get that it's exhausting. Meta has been thoughtful about the way that she responded, and she listened to the things that you had to say and then acknowledged it. So her thoughtfulness means that I believe she's someone who is seeing and paying attention to the people around her, all right? We are not just a crowd of nerds and introverts. We're also a crowd of people who can sometimes, as a result of that inward focus, be self-centered and not pay as much attention to other people. Meta paid close attention to every single one of you, and it was reflected in the way that she responded to each one of you. Did you see that thing as she was doing it? I was watching her do it, and I was actually kind of amazed at that. So your thoughtfulness makes me appreciate a character trait of yours that I didn't know you had. All right? So holding back to the end and providing the thoughtful response, I will tell you right now that in any meeting where I am looking to a team or a project management set to find out what's going on with the project, I wait until the first 3 people are done babbling at me. Usually I'm one of those first 3 people babbling. And then I wait, and then 15 minutes into the conversation, somebody's going to pipe up and say, I got to be honest, I'm a little concerned about the deadlines. And then they'll stay quiet. Maybe 20 minutes later, they'll say, got a couple of ideas that might work. We'll see. All of a sudden, I am dead set straight listening to that person, because this person has thought about what they're saying, all right? I'm going to listen to them more than anybody else. Loudest and first is not always best, or so my mother told me, again and again and again and again. And I've learned that. So, do you all feel like you have a piece that is your own, a thing that you can do right in public speaking that you can now build on? Something that you can focus on and hang on to and then add to as you develop your public persona. I do want you to know that there are other people out there who will help you learn some of these same lessons, that there are good things about what you're doing, and that those things need to be treasured, prized, brought out in you, and continue to be experienced and practiced. That is the thing that will make you comfortable. All right? Every last bit. Are there any last questions? Does anybody want to know anything? Any questions? You can ask me anything you want to know right now. You can also come up and ask me later if you want to too. Okay? Meta.
I would be interested in hearing what you would have changed on my talk.
On your talk, take your hands out of your pockets. Okay? Now put your hands in your pockets. This one too. This is the most closed off human gesture you can possibly make. Everything changes about the way that you stand and position and pose yourself. All I need to do is this. So, and granted, I'm trying to rest my back a little bit here, but there's a huge difference between this. This is just as comfortable, but I deliberately make this choice to keep my arms and hands open as much as I can as I'm talking to you, okay? So this does the same sort of thing. I don't really have pockets right now. That's actually a really good trick. And I did, it's one of the things they teach you in public speaking original classes. Don't wear things that have pockets. You can't stick your hands in non-existent pockets. My husband hates the fact that girls' clothes don't have pockets because he is always carrying my cell phone and keys and lipstick. It's like, why am I carrying your lipstick and your wallet? Get some pockets. No, not when you're speaking in public. So, and that'll help a lot, okay? I was serious about the thoughtfulness. I was dead serious about every great thing you guys just did. And on that note, go get some coffee. Come back in 5.
Thank you to our Kickstarter backers, Michelle Thigpen, Annabelle Richard, Tech Liminal, and Adria Richards. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all of our Kickstarter backers. We couldn't have done this without you. Thank you.